Welcome back to the Go to Go podcast, man. Episode 94, NBA Finals right around the corner. Kicking it off, Mavericks, Celtics to get it started. 2024 NBA Finals. This episode, we're going to dive into that Finals preview matchup, make our picks as well. First, we're going to get started off a little slow week, not much to talk about. We'll go ahead and we'll draft the starting five, year five versus my five. You won a little coin flip before the episode. So you're going to go ahead and pick first. You're going to 5 players, any current NBA player right now you could pick, put them at sort of whatever position you want, I guess, bro. But
all right, we playing positionless basketball.
I wouldn't say positionless, but pretty close to it.
Like the new All NBA awards. There's no positions, just draft.
I mean, you're going to have to pick them for a position, bro, but
all right, bro, I get it.
If you put LeBron at point, like, I don't know what to say.
All right, bro. Well, first pick, I'm going to take Jokic, man. You know, kind of had a up and down playoffs. Didn't, finish the way they won, but I still think pound for pound, skill-wise, the versatility, what he brings, the way you're able to create so much off of him, like offensively, the options are endless. So we get... I think the best player is still in the league right now until, maybe we see otherwise here in the finals. But, yeah, give me the offensive versatility of Nikola Jokic.
You put him at the point guard?
No. Point center. So now I can go a bunch of different ways depending on who you pick here.
All right. Right now, I'm not even going to sign a position just to see best available. But I'm going to go with the other European in Luka Doncic, who could possibly be, after this finals, the best player in the NBA. Western Conference Finals showed his dominance. Pure bucket getter right now. Been dominating so far in these playoffs. So you get a bucket improved defense from Luka. And, I like the way my team's starting off. I knew 1-1 was going to be Jokic. So.
All right. Maybe a little recency bias from you, but not a bad pick.
I mean, yeah.
No, I probably would have went Luka number 2, though. Interesting. So you went with the guard. So I'm gonna double down, bro. Give me Giannis at the 4. You got Luka and Giannis in the backcourt. We have, the big offensive advantage, but now we have some defense, some rim protection, and some inside scoring. The backdoor cuts with Jokic and Giannis are gonna be insane. Just like imagine Aaron Gordon on steroids.
Nah, it's crazy. I planned this out in my head, and I definitely was thinking Giannis.
Yeah, your Greek brethren. You go with him, bro.
Oh, man. Shout out Giannis. Dang. All right. So at the number 2, man. I mean, do you go more recency bias? Do you go... I think I just got to go with LeGoat at this point, man. I'm going to go ahead and get LeBron. You got Giannis. I want to get some defense out there on the perimeter. Could he guard Giannis? Possibly. Doesn't have the size, but I'm going to go ahead and get LeBron.
All right.
Master of the game.
Luka and LeBron, basically the same players, so I'm not too sure what you're doing there. Yeah. All right, so
it's not like you're taking another big man.
No, I'm not, but I'm good in the backcourt, so I'm going to go, it's a current player, but we're going to, rewind the clock a little bit, and we're going to slide KD at the 3. I need some perimeter spacing. I need some shooting. Yeah, like back in OKC, KD's playing the 3, man. Back when they said when he was listed as 6'7",
6'9", yeah.
KD's gonna be at the 3, more size, especially on the defensive side. A little bit of rim protection, but KD's here to score the ball with the spacing. With we got Giannis and Jokic down low, so now we need some perimeter shooting. We need some scoring. We need some spacing. So yeah, give me KD at the 3.
Yeah, man. I might. Man, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go ahead. You haven't taken a big man yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my foot off that pedal. I'm gonna go ahead, call it recency bias, but give me SGA, man. I'm gonna put him at the 1, Luka at the 2. Now I got Braun at the 3. I'm gonna go ahead rock with that right now. SGA could score, could pass. Young player, hasn't truly come into full form, up there in the MVP race. Averaged 31 and 31.7 this year. So excuse me, that's his usage percentage, but he averaged 30 plus. I'm pretty sure, this season. So give me SGA. He could score. He could pass. He's got the length. Play defense, two-way kind of guard.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I was worried you were gonna go with guard, but you went with someone else that
I know who
I
you're
want to
gonna
go
get.
with. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Curry.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that spacing, the best shooter of all time. You have Jokic, KD, kind of. I didn't want SGA and KD, although KD shoot the three. But, you know, both of those guys have a solid mid-range game. They facilitate in that area of the court a lot. Curry, I mean, you're going to have to pick up all 48 feet, man. We're spacing out. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Curry.
We got clamps on the perimeter, man. That's the thing about my team. We playing both ways. SGA against Curry, that pick and roll, man. He's gonna be in a little bit of trouble here, man. So I gotta go ahead and get a big man. I got a couple in my head, and I think I'm gonna take Joel Embiid at the 5 right here. Embiid dominant inside and out. He could score, second best center in the league behind Jokic, and former MVP as well. I mean, if he could stay healthy, obviously that's the biggest question. But give me Embiid dominant, could play both sides a little bit on defense as well. So spaces the floor. That doesn't handicap us at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's smart. Might as well kick that to the end since I already had, my front court pick.
Yep.
So I got Jokic, Giannis, KD, and Curry. So now I got my 2 position. There's 3 names I'm thinking of, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Just seeing how I want to go, but I mean, we'll rock with the recency bias, bro.
Yeah, here we go.
It's down to 2 people, bro. Either D-Book or Ant. And the way my team is set up now, I want the explosiveness. I want the athleticism. We need that dog. Defense. We need that dog, man.
You have to pick up, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so I'm going to rock with Ant here. Throw Ant at the 2. That's going to be a nice option, especially around all those guys. He'll be able to play freely and just, be Ant. You don't got to worry about Rudy Gobert or Cat. Those guys just clogging up the paint. He can play free. Yeah.
I'm not. I think it's your best pick available at that point. Give me, at the 4. Might be a little too early, but I mean, give me the alien Victor Wembanyama, man. Wemby, throw him at the 4, pair him with Jokic. You got that size in the paint. He doesn't have the strength to guard Giannis, but we had some length. Your team being big with KD at the 3. Add Wemby to the mix. He can do a little bit of everything. 7 foot plus, whatever he is. Go ahead, take Wemby. Put him at the 4.
I don't think that's too early. I was contemplating taking him with my first pick if I went second.
If you went second, yeah, I mean,
like him or Giannis.
Yeah. So I was gonna round out my 5. I got SGA, Luka, Braun, Wemby, and Embiid for my 5.
Yeah, you guys, you have no spacing.
No spacing.
No, you just have a bunch of playmakers. Who are they playmaking for?
Wait, how's there 0 spacing, bro?
Bro, Braun and Luka both need the ball in their hands.
Luka could shoot.
SGA needs the ball in his hands.
SGA, he could shoot too.
Not a prolific 3-point scorer. Luka, everything he shoots is off the dribble.
All right, what about
everything he shoots is off the dribble.
Ant needs the ball. KD needs the ball.
No, KD can play off ball. We've seen KD play off ball.
Yeah,
Curry can play off ball. How'd that work out?
Curry could play off ball.
They won a championship back to back. When KD was on the Warriors, he played off ball, bro.
Yeah, okay. But yeah,
Jokic can play off ball.
He's also ball dominant as a center.
Okay, but his versatility.
I'm just saying, I like your 5.
Ant can play off ball. He's a number
Curry,
2.
Ant,
Michael Conley was a point guard.
Yeah, but still, he was a primary ball handler in most of the cases.
He could still play off ball though. Luka and LeBron, they always.
I guess we gotta let TikTok decide who's winning. Team 1, Team 2, with the year 5.
I like Team 1 with the sweet 4-0.
4-0, nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Nah, I folded with the Giannis pick. I will say that. So
Embiid is your best shooter.
If you get how, bro? All right.
Or Luka's step back.
Yeah, like I got literally the
Yo,
best
who are
scoring
some names
guard.
you left off? I thought he was gonna take AD, bro.
AD, I was thinking about it, but then I took Embiid over AD. I already saw that Bron AD pairing in LA. Yeah, they got a chip.
I got a ring, bro.
I said they got a chip.
You should have just did like I did. Say you turned back the clock when AD could actually shoot the three.
I mean, I'll turn back the clock to LeBron Miami then. Like, come on. Like,
no.
Oh, no. Okay.
Can't do that.
Some names? I mean, who would you throw in there?
Harden? You want to take Harden?
Nah. Not top 10.
Halliburton,
I could have took, yeah.
Devin Booker, Tatum. We didn't take Tatum. Or I was thinking about maybe Jaylen Brown.
Tatum.
No, Tatum.
I'm not taking him.
Could have threw Tatum at the 2.
I'll take anybody over top 10.
No Jimmy.
See, I was debating
or Bam.
The floor spacing. Bam, just big moments, offensive bucket.
He played Jokic decent.
He did play Jokic decent.
Could have been a matchup.
Damn. You got me thinking. I folded, man. I left out my own team. I really don't think.
No Dame. I mean, at this point.
Yeah. I think I kind of folded Curry, too.
Yeah, I definitely thought you were going to take Curry, so I couldn't get him.
I was thinking about Curry all earlier today, too, when I was thinking about it. Curry and Giannis were my two guys because I knew if I didn't get one, it was going to be Jokic. And then I was going to go Giannis, and I don't know how. Well, I'm not mad at the Luka, bro. I think this team could compete, man. I think you might have the edge at that 4 position with Wemby against Giannis. We might have to go to a little 2-3 zone or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we might go zone, Eric Spoelstra style.
Yeah, KD breaking that shit, bro.
Oh, no, I'm not worried,
We
bro.
sticking him right at the free throw line. He shooting
all right,
over
we're playing
everyone.
a 1-1-3, bro. Like, I don't know what to say.
KD could shoot over anybody.
I'm letting Ant shoot those catch and shoot threes, bro.
All right, and he gonna hit him. What? All he gotta do is hit one, and then he's attacking all the closeouts, and you gonna see highlights, bro.
And then when we come over weak side help and send that shit.
No, and y'all players gonna be on highlight reels.
All right, man.
Okay, then he come help side. You got Jokic down there on the block. You got Giannis down there cutting. Like you got like Ant can't play me.
Okay, and then we got
or kick out the Curry.
We got
on the
Bron
3-point
SGA
line
on the rotation. Luka, he's just out there to get a bucket, bro.
Who you going? You better have SGA face guarding Curry.
Jokic gonna lock down Embiid?
He don't need to. We just gonna let Embiid do whatever he want. That's what he always do. He never gonna win. Embiid always get his numbers, and what happens when it matters? He don't win. He gonna get injured.
Embiid never had a team like, all right, bro, getting injured now in a hypothetical 5v5.
I'm just being like, hey, what's your best ability, fam? Come on,
availability,
now.
Bro. This
exactly.
is hypothetical 5v5. KD's always hurt. Last year, bro.
Right. Nah, KD's
played
a bunch of games this year, bro.
Dude's putting up jump shots in the club, bro.
Exactly, because he's about his game. That's the kind of players I want on my team, bro. Always about the game, always about the grind, bro.
Anyways, man, you got any more comments on that or?
Nah, bro, I like my team, bro.
And I like my team too, man. Speaking of recency bias, it's because Luka's in the NBA Finals. That's why it popped into my mind. And also, Giannis could win it. He has won a championship, but 2 first round bounces. I know he wasn't available this year, but last year, man, he got bounced in the first round, so to an 8 seed at that. But we'll go ahead. Mavs, Celtics Finals preview. I think it was to start 2 days.
It's on Thursday. Yeah, so
6th.
2 days.
2 days, recording on Tuesday the 4th. Finals matchup, man. Let me hear, your takes on this series as well as your series prediction, and might as well call out series MVP as well.
All right. I'm going to say I was thinking about this.
You can preview the matchup first if you don't. Okay.
I'm going to just do my pick first, and then I'll do
right.
it. Yeah. I'm going to go with Celtics in I want to say 6, bro, but I'm going to go Celtics in 7, bro. I'm going to go Celtics in 7. Finals MVP.
Selling out.
I mean, give me Jason Tatum.
Porzingis.
But Porzingis is a dark horse. I'm gonna say Tatum, bro,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna go Celtics in 7.
So you're going Celtics.
I
in
think
7.
it's 6, but I'm gonna say 7.
All right.
Celtics in 7. Yeah, that's my pick. What's yours?
You want me? You want to give the pick before the?
Yeah.
Well, unlike you, I'm not a Celtics sellout. I'll never
Not selling out.
pick Boston or fraudulent Tatum for just about anything. There's a reason. Jaylen Brown won Eastern Conference Finals MVP in the Larry Bird Trophy. Did see some ESPN put out best players in the playoffs, where they had Jason Tatum, Derek White right behind him, and I think Jaylen Brown was the second one after Derek White as well. So you got 3 top 10 players in the playoffs, according to whoever the ESPN writer was. I didn't even really look, but nonetheless, obviously, great team on the Celtics. As a true ride or die Heat fan, even though I didn't pick my guy Bam, sorry Bam. I got Mavs in 7 as well. So I got the series going 7 games here. Got the Mavericks going in 7. MVP, I mean, it's got to be Luka, man. He's here to prove, he was snubbed from that MVP trophy the way he feels. So, hey, man, it's time in Dallas. Great state of Texas, bring the trophy back. And the last time, I believe, 26-year-old played a young, or whatever it was, Western Conference. It was Mavs Heat. Dirk versus Braun. Dirk won that matchup. Not calling Tatum Braun, but give me Luka in this matchup. Mavs in 7, Luka MVP as well.
All right, bro. So I'm gonna just preface this. Yeah. I don't want the Celtics to win.
I know
I'm
you don't.
rooting
I know
for the
you
Mavericks, but
don't.
Part of just to go against you as well. That also has something to do with it. I just
always gotta play the villain role.
Yeah. I feel like the Celtics are the better team. So give me the better.
I
so give me the better team, and give me the chance to prove you wrong. I'm taking that. All right, but. Like I said, I like the Mavericks. And if you go through the players and stuff, yes, I think the Mavericks do have the single best player of this series. And, in a 5-on-5 in basketball, it's not like we talking about football or soccer or any other sport, baseball, like where, having all these players does make a big difference. In basketball, we've seen it time and time again. Having the single best player can propel a team, to certain levels. And a single player can, single-handedly turn a series or even win a series.
It also elevates players around.
Yeah, we've seen examples of this. But I just think this Celtics team and their camaraderie, they're battle tested. This Celtics team, as much as we always make fun of them and we say, oh, they never get the job done in big moments. Well, they've been in those big moments. If they've done their homework and did everything right, they learn from those big moments. Losing to the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, losing, young Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, losing in the Eastern Conference Finals to LeBron and the Cavs, losing to the Warriors. Maybe it was a little too early for them there in the NBA Finals. Like, this Celtics team, as much as we say, like, oh, they're not ready for the big moments, like, they've been in a bunch of big moments and they're battle tested. Like, I believe all of their starting 5 except Porzingis has been in the finals and has, experience in those big moments, in those big games. So I think that's going to be a huge advantage for the Boston Celtics. Only player the Mavs have is Kyrie. Luka, I think he's, won a championship or whatever in the EuroLeague and stuff like that before the NBA, but this is a whole different level. You got to take into account of everything that's going to be going on, all the pregame stuff, all the media hype, games, they seem to be a little more tighter. The games, the times are always
a little bit
longer.
later.
Yeah, games going to the night. So like it's definitely a different atmosphere in that term. So I think the Boston Celtics will be more comfortable, but the Celtics also have to stay healthy, man. I mean, you've been playing Al Horford like 43 minutes a game, trying to preserve Porzingis. Well, having him as a backup for Porzingis is going to be huge. So you want to make sure he's there. I know, you get the extra rest days now, so that'll be huge. But Porzingis has to come back. He has to be healthy. I think he's the dark horse. I mentioned, Porzingis for MVP. I think if Porzingis is playing, if he's fully healthy, he's the reason why the Celtics will win. It's not like you're playing against the Wolves or whatever, where Lively and Gafford, and I think me and you kind of underestimate how important they would be to this team, especially in this playoff run. So, like, if they have to come out and they actually have to guard Porzingis, it's not Cat just chucking up threes and Porzingis is actually making them. That's going to add so much more room, so much more freedom for those other guys on the wing. And I just think they, on defense especially, they have a solid rim protector in Porzingis. And then you look at who does the offense run through, who's the two best players on the Mavs. You have Luka and Kyrie. Well, I think the Boston Celtics have multiple bodies to throw at all of those guys. They can switch dudes up. I think you go Tatum and Brown on Luka for more of that size, and then you have, those guards with Derek White and Drew Holiday that can kind of try to give Kyrie some issues. They can switch. I think all four of those guys will be able to have some impact defensively on Kyrie and Luka. Now, if you talk about, Luka getting Derek White or Drew, maybe you see him go to the paint, that little post-up fadeaway, he can just shoot over him, because we saw having somebody even, like Jaden McDaniels, who had length, he didn't have the size like someone who, like Luke Dort had, who, maybe gave Luka some more problems. So that's why I think, you go Jaylen Brown or you put Tatum on Luka, some of those guys that have more size weight-wise and not just length, because Luka can show you, like, he's just shooting over the length, and length doesn't really bother him. So I think that's going to be the big matchup. And then I think the role players on Dallas have been, kind of playing out of their minds. Like, PJ in the OKC series, I mean, he just didn't miss 20 points per game. Derrick Jones Jr. all of a sudden is a 3-point shooter. I remember on the Heat, it's like you were talking about it, like, oh, he's just a high flyer. Like, don't give him the ball in the perimeter.
Corner three.
Corner
he
three.
can knock down a couple, but he's efficiency.
Now, exactly. They got Maxi Kleber, Josh Green, all these guys shooting at a high efficiency in these big moments, in these bigger games. Will that be sustainable? We'll see. And then you look at the Celtics bench, those guys, Peyton Pritchard, Hauser, is he going to be consistent? He had a rough series against the Pacers. So it's going to be interesting. I just think when it comes down to it, the Celtics have more guys I trust with the ball over the Mavericks having the two guys I trust the most. So it's going to be interesting, man. I think this is just like the classic, team versus player matchup. Like, this is, I think whoever wins this series, it's kind of the way we see the NBA go. It's like at a crossroads right now, because, we just came off of the super team era where it's like you want to have all these good players. You want to have everyone on this team. But I think there's also a chance where it's like just get the best player on the team and kind of let everything else fall in place, where you have a Luka and then you give him a second sidekick like Kyrie, and then just fill out everything else with role players. Whereas you look at the Boston Celtics, you have, maybe one true superstar in Jason Tatum, who maybe borderline, like you can argue it, but they have a bunch of really good stars, a bunch of really good players that can play their role, all-star, all-NBA caliber players at different positions other than, two superstars or a superstar and a star, and then kind of fill out the rest. So whoever wins this series, I think, everything in sports is a copycat league. I think we see some of these teams trying to lean into, whichever way has the most success. They do that all the time in NFL, NBA. We see it all the time, with the Warriors, and they're shooting and stuff. Everyone's shooting the threes. LeBron and the Miami Heat, the big three super team.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of saw KD trying to create that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. So I think it's going to be a good series. I think we get a lot of fun matchups, a lot of fun games. But, yeah, I think overall Boston is the slightly better team. You get a little more depth, and I just think the experience, even in coaching, Mazzulla, we always talk about, he's not ready, or especially last year, he just out-coached by Spoelstra. The moment was too big. Well, now he can use all that. He can learn from it. He was there on the coaching staff when those guys made the run to the finals, Eastern Conference Championship. So he has some experience. So I think the experience and, the ability to perform in these big moments, again, learning from all those failures, will give the Celtics a slight edge.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talk about it every time, the Celtics' depth. I think you covered that very well with their stars and their players around them. Definitely the more filled out team, more experience. You mentioned Mazzulla. I'm not buying into that part fully, but I will say
he's been a better coach, especially.
Yeah, he has been a better
down
coach.
the stretch in the playoffs.
Basketball
He's
has
been
better.
Yeah,
but they haven't been. I mean, they've been in tight games where his situational basketball, but there hasn't been a series where his back's been up against the wall. Although in tight games he has done a good job coaching. I will give him credit for that. Uh, you mentioned Derek Jones. I'm looking at playoff stats here. He's shooting a 3-ball at 40% clip, which is unheard of from Derek Jones. He's shooting a 3-ball better than P.J. Washington. P.J. Washington is shooting at 36%.
That's still a really high
obviously
number.
Different volume shooting wise, but looking it down, Luka's the leading scorer left in these playoffs, and then you got he's at 28.5. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, both 26 and 25 respectively. Derek White, obviously. Look at leading rebounders on these two teams. It's kind of shocking. It's Luka and Jason Tatum, both the leading rebounders in these playoffs, both at the guard forward position respectively. So you look at it, obviously Luka better scorer. I really do think it's going to come down to that Porzingis. You mentioned him, dark horse. I like how the Celtics are able to switch. If you're the Mavericks, you got to be chasing Porzingis into these matchups, and you got to force. I know Luka's, not the fastest guard, but you get Kyrie, you get Luka out on the perimeter. If they're gonna switch everything truly, they might try to stick, Porzingis not on and switch, but those other four guys, I mean, you would live with, Drew Holiday guarding Luka Doncic. Not your favorite matchup. I think you probably stick Jaylen Brown on Luka, and then you got Drew and Derek White who could, whatever it is, they could handle that guard position. And then have Tatum just chill, P.J. Washington. Hopefully he doesn't play, what he's been playing if you're on the Celtics team or a Celtics fan, because P.J. Washington's been tearing up these playoffs as a role player, really coming into his own over here in Dallas. And, Gafford and Porzingis, former teammates in Washington, they're going to be going up against each other in these playoffs. So those guys used to share the front court in Washington. 1 year removed? Yeah, 1 year removed both. Now NBA Finals facing off. I think it's going to be a good matchup. Derek Jones, he's going to add that, obviously high flying off the bench, but really look for his defense. I think he's going to play some crucial minutes, whether he's strapping up, one of those guards on the Celtics, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, because you're going to need some depth off the bench. And P.J. Washington, will he be able to keep up, for the whole game? We'll see about that. I think Derek Jones is going to get some big minutes. If he can keep knocking down those threes, I think it's big for Dallas in a sense. And it really just comes down to, you mentioned the Celtics' health. They have the more rest, obviously, throughout these playoffs. But Al Horford, you mentioned these guys all have, championship pedigree. Al Horford's been in this league for, who knows how long at this point. It's 12-plus seasons at least.
At least 12.
He won the UF NCAA title, was at 07-08.
Things, yeah.
So 2009, 2014-plus years in the NBA. He has the experience down the stretch. And he's trying to lead the Celtics team to that elusive title, as you mentioned, losing to the Heat in conference finals, losing to the Warriors in the finals, going back and forth in those battles. So I really do think it's going to be a chippy series. Neither of these teams are truly physical when you look at them on paper, but it's the NBA Finals. Kyrie, is he trying to prove something, in his return to the Garden? We'll see with that. If Kyrie and Luka, obviously, it's going to come down to those guys. But, if they just keep the way they've been playing as they have in the Western Conference, they've already got, 2 elite defenders thrown at them in the past from the Western Conference to even before that against OKC. It's a little bit different. Drew Holiday, he's been an elite defender in this league for many years. Derek White, one of the best shot blocking, if not the best shot blocking guards.
Yep.
And then Jaylen Brown, athleticism, and Jason Tatum's length. So it's going to be a tough matchup up and down. I do think, even though Missoula, another year under the belt, I do think the Mavs have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to coaching. I wouldn't say a whole lot, but at the end of the day, you mentioned sometimes, just give me the best player in the finals, and it's kind of why I'm going to rock with this team. I just got more faith in Luka than I do Tatum.
I agree, but the one thing I will say is it's going to be interesting to see how Dallas plays defensively.
Yeah,
because they've been a very good team defensively. down the stretch after the trade deadline, you know, they made some tweaks and started giving some guys more minutes. But during this entire playoffs run, they really only had to take one player away from every team they played. You look at the Clippers, Kawhi was really a non-factor. But then you look at Paul George and James Harden. I mean, both of those guys kind of flip-flop, pretty inconsistent down the stretch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you didn't really have to worry about both of those guys going off. Then you go to OKC. SGA pretty much, you know, won OKC those couple games. But overall, J-Dub down the stretch, you know, he wasn't really a big factor for OKC. You didn't really have to worry about him. And then you go and look at the Timberwolves, whereas if you take away Ant, there was really no one else doing anything. Like Jaden McDaniels had a couple solid games.
Spot up.
Cat was wide open. You know, we talked about his woes shooting. He didn't have a good series at all. The one game they did win, once he started hitting his shots, that was his game 4, I believe. They got a win. You know, Ant got some help. Rudy Gobert, you're not worried about him offensively. Well, against this Celtics team, you know, you got a bunch of guys that can go get a bucket. You look at Jason Tatum, we all know what he's capable of. Jaylen Brown, you mentioned, I think he's been flying under the radar for this Boston Celtics team.
So do I. I think
because, you know, they haven't really been playing anybody. He hasn't been doing much. I think he's averaging like 25 plus points per game. He's been hooping.
25 even.
Yeah, he's hit all the big shots. You know, in that game 1 against the Pacers, he hit that corner 3. He's hit some big buckets down the stretch for the Celtics team. He's been getting a bucket, and then you bring in Porzingis. You're not going to play Lively and Gafford at the same time. So Porzingis is one-on-one with one of those guys. And he, you know, his offensive game is where it was pre-injury or where we think it needs to be for this Celtics team to win. They're going to have a lot of trouble down low trying to guard him and trying to figure out what they're going to do with Porzingis defensively. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Dallas tries to take away a certain player or try to take away multiple things. We know the Celtics like to shoot a 3-ball. Do they, you know, try to take away that 3-ball and say, you know, make them beat us inside, make them drive, make them go to the rim, make them, you know, make their free throws? Or, you know, do they say, we need to just take away Jason Tatum, he's their star player, and, hey, if Jaylen Brown beats us, he beats us. Well, he's shown that he's going to be able to beat you, especially, you know, this playoffs, this postseason, he's been hooping really good. So trying to figure out what the Mavericks want to take away defensively is going to be very interesting because they haven't faced any team like this so far in the playoffs where they have 3-4 realistic threats that can, you know, get this team over the hump offensively and contribute to a win. So a lot of questions there defensively for Dallas, and I think that may, you know, be a problem for them in this series.
Me personally, I think it's a 3-ball, and I don't think it's a question. The Celtics, the best 3-point shooting team all year long. Even in these playoffs, you saw them get going from 3. They look unbeatable. When they're not raining threes, they just look like a shot-chucking team forcing up shots. I think you try to force, you know, Tatum and Jaylen Brown to live in that mid-range area, make them attack the rim, force tough shots upon them from the 3 because you got Derek White. He could shoot. He lit it up in round 1. He's arguably been, you know, sort of that surprise player, even though he's been, you know, a good player. He's really lived up in these big moments here in the playoffs. You got to force him off that 3-ball. I think you take anything inside, Lively and Gafford, just stay out of foul trouble. That's the best you could tell him to do down low on the block. If they, you know, end up, you live with the Porzingis if he wants the backdoor. You live with the Drew Holiday if he wants the backdoor. You got to live with those 2s over those 3s because, I mean, the Celtics, they put up the most 3s in the NBA all year long, and they were the best 3-point shooting team all year long. And in these playoffs, they've been easily the best 3-point shooting team in the highest volume as well. So you take away what they can do. You go ahead, force them inside the paint, force them inside that arc, 15-footers, 14-footers. If that's the way Tatum and Brown are going to kill you, you live with it. And I think Jaylen Brown has been the best offensive scorer, I will say, even though Tatum does a little bit more all-around game, facilitating as well. I think Jaylen Brown's been the best bucket getter so far, pure one-on-one for the Celtics. So if Brown and Tatum one-on-one, if they beat you, I think you have to live with it. You can't let them hit all these 3s, and the barrage of 3s, the game gets out of hand real fast against the Celtics team.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But I think both of these teams will be able to score offensively.
Yeah.
You look at Luke and Kyrie. I mean, those guys are just they're gonna get their shots off. I mean, the most you can do is just try to make it tough for them. But we'll see, man. Game 1 is gonna be interesting, bro.
No doubt. Go episode 94. Go to go pod. TikTok. Go to go YouTube. Apple, Spotify streaming, all that. Next week, I guess we'll be back either 2 games into the finals, I think.
2 games, yeah.
So we'll be back after game 2 of the NBA finals, man. And until next week, man, peace.